excellent song, no notes. Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've been here. It's been a while since we've done one of these. It's been a while since I posted anything on this account, but we are back and we are going to be doing a ranking and rating video for Taylor Swift's Reputation album. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I was low-key waiting to see if Reputation Taylor's version was gonna get announced, and then I was gonna, film my ranking of the Taylor's version of Reputation. But it seems like we're not getting Reputation, or at least not as soon as we thought we were. We of course instead getting the Tortured Poets department, which I'm very, very excited for. So I figured that instead of waiting for Reputation to be announced, I was just gonna, we'll move on. We'll carry on doing the rankings and ratings so that we can get to all of the rest of the albums, because we've still actually got quite a few albums to go and to get through. So we're gonna get into it, and knowing my luck, probably now, within the next few days, we'll get an announcement for Reputation. But anyway, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna be ranking and rating Reputation. I'm very excited. There are some bangers on this album. There are also some songs that I do not love, but we'll see. We'll get into it. And let's get started. Okay, let's get started. Let's get into it. First track on the album is Ready For It. Okay, so Ready For It, I actually don't mind it when I listen to it, but it is not one of my favorite songs. Very rarely am I gonna go seek it out and put it on. It's just like not quite for me. I think I'm gonna give it a 6. Like, I don't hate it, I don't dislike it. It's just not one of my favorites. So I think a 6 is a solid place to start. And then track number 2 is Endgame, featuring Ed Sheeran and Future. I was very excited for this when this song first was put on the track list, because obviously it's Ed Sheeran. Definitely didn't like it at the time when it came out. I can appreciate parts of it now, but I think I like Endgame slightly more than Ready For It. I'm gonna give it a 6.2. And we're starting off very low for this album, for Reputation, but this is like, up until track 5, I don't really listen to this album. When I listen to this album, what I do is I go straight to, actually track 6 even, I go straight to track number 7, So It Goes, and I play from So It Goes to the end. I hardly ever listen to these first 6 songs on this album. And I think that's what put me off the album for a long time, because for a long time I didn't like the album Reputation at all. I liked when the album first came out, I liked Delicate. Like, that was one of my top songs. We'll see how that's changed. But I didn't really like any of the other songs on the album. And then over time, what's grown on me is the second half of the album. The first half hasn't grown on me as much. But anyway, let's move on and let's get into track number 3, I Did Something Bad. I never trust a narcissist, but they love me. They say I did something bad, and why does it feel so good? They say I did something bad, and why does it feel so good? Most fun I ever had, and I do it over and over and over again if I could. It just felt so good. confused about where to put this. I don't know if I like it slightly more or slightly less than Endgame. Kind of leaning towards slightly more though. So I'm gonna give it a 6.3 for now. Again, just like, I don't think these are necessarily bad songs. They're just not my favorite. Moving on to track number 4, Don't Blame Me. Don't blame me, love made me crazy. If it doesn't, you ain't doing it right. The TikTok edits really helped this song grow on me. This is, I would say, now one of my top songs in the front half of this album. I think I'm going to give Don't Blame Me a 7. Yeah. 7 seems fair. It's not one that I'm constantly coming back to. When it does come on, I can appreciate it. Definitely the best out of the first 4 tracks on this album. So I think a 7 is a good place to put it. And then we'll move on to track number 5, which is Delicate. Listen for the best. My reputation's never been worse, so you must like me for me. Is it cool that I said all that? Is it chill that you're in my head? 'Cause I know that it's delicate. Is it cool that I said all that? Is it too soon to do this yet? So this song, it's a difficult one because, like I mentioned, this was my absolute favorite song when the album first came out. So much so that I decided to do a poll routine to this song, and I did it for the SAPSF Nationals in 2018. I'll link the video. I've got a video up of it. And I had to play that song so many times while training. And then, like, looking back on the routine now, it's like one of my least favorite routines. Like, I think there was just so much more that I could have done with it. And like, I don't really love the routine looking back on it anymore. So that's kind of like affected how I think about the song. And then also hearing it so many times, really like, it got quite irritating after a certain point. So like, I never listen to this song anymore, but I did really love it when it came out. So it's like, do I consider that and factor that into the ranking? If I were to purely do it like based on now, it would probably be like a 5. But I think I can like bump it up slightly based on like the good impression that it made when I first listened to it. So like, I think I'm gonna give it like a 5.5. It is probably like currently the song that I listen to least on Reputation. It's between Delicate and the next song, which is Look What You Made Me Do. So let's get into Look What You Made Me Do, because yeah, I think I'm gonna leave Delicate at a 5.5 and let's go to track 6, Look What You Made Me Do. Funny enough, I've also done a poll routine to this song just in class. It was like one of our class routines. I don't like your little games, don't like your tilted stage. Gonna check it twice. Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do. Yeah, so I think unfortunately this is my least favorite song on Reputation. I'm gonna have to give it a 4. I find the chorus so repetitive. If it's not for me, I don't really enjoy it. Yeah, not much more I can say about it. Yeah, Look What You Made Me Do is definitely my least listened to. Like I was thinking between Delicate and Look What You Made Me Do, but re-listening to Look What You Made Me Do now made me remember that like, yeah, this is just not the song for me. We're gonna give it a 4, below average. And we'll move on to track number 7, which is So It Goes. So this is usually the point at which I actually start listening to the album. So the scores are going to start picking up from here on out. I really like So It Goes. I feel like I'm gonna give So It Goes an 8. A solid 8 out of 10. This, like I said, definitely the place where the album really starts to pick up for me. But then let's get straight into track number 8, which is Gorgeous. This is just such a fun song. You should take it as a compliment that I got drunk and made fun of the way you talk. I actually think that when this album first came out, I really didn't like this song, but I think it's been one of the ones that has grown on me the most. I really love that song. I think it's a cute song, and I am going to give it an 8.5 for Gorgeous. It also, like, it's just fun. Like, the beat is enjoyable. It's not the deepest, the most lyrically complex song that Taylor Swift has written, but it's a bop and it's fun. Moving on next to track number 9, which is Getaway Car. Okay, Getaway Car, it's a fan favorite for good reason. I'm gonna give it an 8.8, a little bit higher than Gorgeous. It's just a really good song. Okay, and then we move on to one of my absolute favorites on this album, King of My Heart. Excellent song, no notes. I love this so much. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I think it has to be. It also helps that the song just reminds me of my boyfriend. It's just a really good song. I love the production on it. The bridge, like drinking beer out of plastic cups. Oh, that part, love it. Great song. Moving on though to track number 11, which is Dancing with Our Hands Tied. It's a really good song. I don't think I like it quite as much as Gorgeous or Getaway Car or King of My Heart, but I do think I like it slightly better than So It Goes. So I think I'm gonna give it an 8.2. 8.2 for Dancing with Our Hands Tied. I think this has been a very easy album to rank so far. Like, comparing this to like my 1989 ranking, for example, I feel like I have much more like definitive opinions on all of these songs. Like, either I like them or I don't like them. There seems to be less kind of difficulty in actually getting a ranking for each of these. I think it also helps that this album is a lot shorter. We only have 4 more tracks left to go. The next of which is track 12, which is Dress, which is another highlight of this album.
Our secret moments in your crowded room, they got no idea about me and you. Everything just stops. I don't want you like a best friend. Only about this dress so you could take it off. Take it off. Ha, ha, ha. Carve your name into my windows. 'Cause I don't want you like a best friend. Flashback when you met me, your buzz cut and my hair bleeds. Even in my worst times, you could see the best of me. Flashback to my mistakes, my rebounds, my earthquakes. Even in my worst lies, you saw the truth in me. And I woke up just in time. Now I wake up by your side.
Whew. I think it has to go just below King of My Heart. 9.4, excellent song, fantastic, love it. Just love it a tiny, tiny, tiny bit less than King of My Heart. But like, it's up there. One of the best songs on the album, for sure. And then moving on to track number 13, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
It was so nice throwing big parties, jumping to the pool from the balcony. This is why we can't have nice things, darling. Because you break them, I have to take them away. This is why we can't have nice things,
I don't absolutely hate it, but it's definitely the low point on this half of the album. I'm gonna give it a 6.8, and I think this is actually my only skip of this like second half of the album. I was just thinking that like I would skip it, which makes me realize that I didn't do my skips for the beginning half of the album, so that would unfortunately be Ready for It, Endgame, I Did Something Bad, Delicate, and Look What You Made Me Do, since I genuinely just most of the time will start the album from track 7. I'm not gonna make Don't Blame Me a skip, because I feel like if Don't Blame Me, I actually need to make a playlist of like my Reputation album, because I feel like if Don't Blame Me and This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things were swapped, then I wouldn't skip Don't Blame Me nearly as often as it ends up being skipped, just because I'm skipping through that whole first half of the album. So I'm gonna be fair and not give it an actual skip on the record, but yeah, I probably don't listen to it as much as I do listen to the others. Anyway, next up, moving on to the second last song of the album, which is track number 14, Call It What You Want.
nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing better than I ever was. 'Cause my baby's bit like a daydream, walking with his head down. I'm the one he's walking to. So call it what you want, yeah, call it what you want to.
Okay, Call It What You Want, I think is gonna get an 8.1, just slightly above So It Goes, slightly below Dancing. Yes, definitely below Dancing with Our Hands Tied. So 8.1 I think is fair for Call It What You Want. Definitely not a skip. One of the better songs on the album, in my opinion. And then we have our last track of Reputation, last track on the standard track list, and then there's no deluxe, no bonus tracks for Reputation, at least not until we get Taylor's version. So this is our last track, which is New Year's Day.
There's glitter on the floor after the party. I want your midnights, but I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you. Don't to the memories, come a stranger to you. Hold on to the memories, recognize anyone to you. Please hold on to the memories, come a stranger to you. I could recognize, hold on to you.
So it's definitely not a bad song. However, I do kind of feel like two things. Firstly, I feel like this is trying to be Reputation's version of You Are In Love, and I just don't feel like it lives up to that same kind of iconicness that is You Are In Love. If you saw my 1989 ranking, you know how I feel about You Are In Love. So I just feel like this is kind of an attempt to do something similar to that, and it just doesn't quite work on the same level. And then also, like, I feel like Taylor Swift has done this sort of thing better in other songs in terms of kind of like the meaning and the motive behind it, of that like please don't ever become a stranger kind of situation, that fear of losing someone. I feel like that's done better in other songs like Cornelia Street off of the Lover album. So I feel like if I'm seeking a song to put me in that kind of mood and feeling that's from Taylor Swift, it's not going to be New Year's Day. Like, if I want like a really romantic love song, I'm going to go to You Are In Love. If I want that like fear of losing you kind of feeling, I'm going to go to Cornelia Street or something else. So yeah, New Year's Day is just not like the go-to to me. It's not a bad song, I don't think, but it's just not my favorite. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I do listen to it. It's not really like a skip, but it's just not as good as some of the other songs that do the same thing and are kind of like on the same subject matter. So that brings us to the end of the Taylor Swift ranking for Reputation. So we've got all of the tracks ranked. Let's go and put them in order. So we're going to rate them ascending. No, let's do them descending. So from highest to lowest. So highest ranked on Reputation is King of My Heart, track 10. Lowest ranked on Reputation is Look What You Made Me Do, track 6. This album definitely has one of the higher number of skips out of all the albums that I've ranked so far. I'm going to calculate our average rating for this album. It's a 7.32, which is not great. And that is because of the tracks on the first half of the album that kind of bring it down. The Ready For It, the Delicate, the Look What You Made Me Do, just not helping the overall average there. I feel like if there were a few key songs that were taken out of this album, it would be a fantastic album, but it's just that first half that really doesn't sit well with me. I mean, it's not even that. It's just like not usually the type of thing that I'm wanting to listen to. Whereas that second half of the album, like there is a mood that I'm in, and like I would say the second half of Reputation by itself could outrank some other Taylor Swift albums for me. That's how much I do enjoy the second half of the album as like an album, as like a vibe, as like a feeling, a mood to like put on. But yeah, first half definitely brings it down. Anyway, that is the ranking. I am planning to do a like final video where I compare all of the songs rankings and compare all the albums to each other at the end of this whole series. So it might be a while till we get to that, but stay tuned for that because I will compare this to the others to see how it kind of tracks compared to some of the other songs. But we will leave it there for now. That is Reputation fully ranked and rated. Next up will of course be Lover, which is the first of the Taylor Swift albums that she actually owned herself. So that's an exciting one. We'll get into Lover, and then obviously we have to do all the rest of them up till Tortured Poets Department. I'm gonna maybe try and see if I can get out all the rest of these rankings before Tortured Poets Department releases, and then I can just like straight away go into a Tortured Poets Department review and ranking. But we'll see if I manage to keep up with that sort of schedule. It probably won't be that. It takes me a while to actually sit down and film these, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did watch all the way to the end, let me know if you agree with my ranking, if you disagree with my ranking. I feel like this one might be one of my more controversial rankings just because of how strongly I do feel about some of the songs. But yeah, let me know if you agreed with me. Leave a comment and then like the video if you did enjoy it, as that helps the channel out, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of the reactions and the reaction to Tortured Poets Department that will hopefully be coming soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.